I'm Derek Harper, and this is 5 Minute Majors. It's a brand new week in Major Junior Hockey. And with that, we've seen some changes in the CHL's top 10. The Portland Winterhawks have fallen to third in the top 10 rankings. Halifax still up there, two teams to keep an eye on this season. Portland is struggling a little bit in their Eastern swing. They were set to travel to Kamloops, British Columbia to take on the Blazers Wednesday night. Now, with that comes a lot of questions. Will Portland be able to pull it off this season? They're thought to be the best team in the WHL at the moment, but that league is a very tough league and arguably one of the better of the three major junior. Now, people might say the QMJHL, which they have a lot of great talent. The WHL has produced many, many top prospects, top players. But with that comes a little bit of a challenge at times because there's three major junior leagues. So you also have that host city with the now Kia Memorial Cup. Well, what are we going to do about that? Those host cities have to load up at times, and then they end up rebuilding like 1 or 2 seasons later. So my thought is on the West Coast, there are a lot of untapped markets or markets with lower level junior A and or high level junior A in the case of the BCHL, who pulled away from Hockey Canada, actually. Now, this begs the question of how would we realign the leagues to eliminate that host team? That would be a challenge, but it's not impossible. There's a lot of good markets. The OHL has a few potentially. Erie, there's a team there right now. So you could add another US, what they might change the US division, maybe adding a few other teams. One city that comes to mind is actually Indianapolis, Indiana, who has the Indy Fuel, who are moving out to Fishers, actually. But the WHL, Major Junior as a whole, is thought to be a higher level of hockey than, say, the CHL, which is 2 steps below the NHL, the premier AA hockey league, they say. Now, Victoria had that where the Chilliwack Bruins moved to Victoria, who kicked out the ECHL's Victoria Salmon Kings. So we could see that similar play with Indianapolis or even Boise, Idaho, who have the ECHL's Idaho Steelheads. A few other markets come to mind out west, Billings, Montana. They have a lower level junior A team in the North American 3 Hockey League. Or in the USPHL, you have the Fresno Monsters, but they play occasional games at Selland Arena. So Selland Arena could be a perfect venue for a major junior team. And essentially, you would be able to kind of eliminate some of these lower level teams for higher level hockey that people don't see every day. Northern California, with the exception to the Sharks and maybe the AHL's Barracuda, is sort of an untapped hockey market. Similar to the Pacific Northwest. They're both growing, but they maybe haven't hit their peak yet. And I think that the WHL will be most impacted by a brand new league. You'd have to figure out, okay, how does the WHL adapt? Who shifts to the new league potentially? So there would be some work. It would be a challenge, but like I really don't think it'd be impossible. So out in the OHL footprint again, besides Indianapolis, you have Brampton, Ontario, who used to have the Brampton Beast. Now you could go there and put a team there. They only have a basketball tenant at the moment. And Canada is hockey crazy. That's pretty known. So for a venue like that to not have a team, that's tough. And so it'd be a lot of logistical challenges, but it would eliminate that rebuild process for that team that hosts. And then, in addition to that, you would be able to have fans in smaller markets see major junior hockey. Billings, Montana. Montana has a lot of hockey teams, but they're all junior A. So you would be able to grow the game at a high level in markets across the United States and Canada. And right now, I think it's a very key, critical year in hockey. We're seeing a lot of top prospects come out of the major junior ranks the last few seasons. Connor Bedard, most notably. It just seems like a smart choice to do this. Now, will this ever happen? Probably not. But it's really fun to think about because there are factors that just make sense. So maybe it happens one day, but only time will tell because we could have a bracket of like the OHL versus the QMJHL and then the WHL versus whatever the new Western League might be. And there's been talks of a new USHL style out west. Notably, I believe it's in California and Nevada here soon in the next couple 2 years, I believe. But why not make that major junior? And that way the homegrown players don't have to travel as far to play either. Like maybe California kids could play in Cali. And so it just makes sense for this to happen.